Commence primary ignition.
Hey, this is Katie O'Brien, and you're watching the Virtual Cantina Network.
We're back!
Hi, everyone. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Rebels. Look what the Loth Cat dragged in.
I am back.
Back.
I'm back. I'm alive. How exciting. I was joking before we joined, before we went live. I was like, I did it. I'm alive. I didn't die of the sadness. But yeah, so as everyone joins, I'll give everyone the full story of my, what I'm now calling my unfortunate hospitalization, which was definitely dramatic. It was overly dramatic, I think. But yeah,
Mark von
it was great.
Olen's most unexcellent adventure.
Exactly. And I missed so much stuff too. It's the kind of thing where, do you remember? Okay, so for everyone who is keeping the timeline, I have not been on the last two episodes of Rebels Revisited. 2 episodes ago was the day of the eclipse. And for everyone thinking, like, doesn't the eclipse feel like 10,000 years ago at this point? That's how long ago this saga started. So I was hospitalized on the day of the eclipse, and I actually missed the eclipse. I was so pissed. Which then everyone around me is like, oh, it was pointless. It was stupid. It wasn't that fun. I had friends who like went away that weekend and made like trips out of it. I'm seeing all over Facebook everyone getting these incredible photos, people who like traveled and
I went to work, and then
yeah.
one of our customers gave us glasses, so we took turns going out to the back parking lot to see it, and it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool. We had a whole thing at work where they ordered in like a stack of UV protected glasses, like special order, and everyone went outside to take pictures, and all my coworkers were hanging out, and there's like a big team photo without me, as I'm sick. So it was a moment.
My body's attacking me, and everyone's like, "Oh, here's all of us at the eclipse. It's
Yeah.
fine."
It was weird and random. Now, does everyone remember though, the Friday before the eclipse, we had the earthquake, at
Yeah.
least here in New York. By the way, it was
Thank
like whatever it
God.
was on the Richter scale. We joked that it was a 1, because it didn't do
It's like
anything, but it
4.
was a moment.
Yeah.
And I actually called out sick that Friday because I wasn't feeling well that Friday before the Monday. And so I was home and the earthquake happened, and I was like, oh God, what is this? So I text everyone at work to be like, is everyone okay? Checking in on my team. They're like, oh yeah, it rattled for 10 seconds, and it wasn't like a big deal. And then I'm just on Twitter endlessly, right? Trying
Right.
to identify what actually happened. Where did it start? I have friends in Baltimore, friends in Boston, like all over the place my sister lives in New Jersey, which was actually close to the epicenter. They said it was not at all scary, but my parents were also there with the grandkids. So it was just a lot of people in one house.
Yeah.
And so my sister was like, it was 10 seconds, but it felt like an hour. So, you know, the earthquake I was homesick for. And then that weekend I went to WrestleMania in Philadelphia because I thought I just had like a minor
My
fever.
cousin was
Yeah.
there.
So funny enough, so we didn't actually go see the show. So we didn't buy tickets to WrestleMania, but we did go see the WWE Access thing, which is like their convention.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's huge. That's
it
so
was
cool.
so much fun, and I felt fine. I was just, like, a little bit tired because I was taking Tylenol because I had a fever, and I didn't think anything of it. I was like, "Oh, I'm probably just overworked and tired," but we had booked this trip. We had
Mhm.
tickets to the WWE thing, and, we had tickets to the What Culture guys doing an event on that Sunday. That's the actual reason we went down to Philly. The Philly's, like, an hour and a half on the train, super easy. Went to
Yeah.
that show, and I was like, all right, well, I'm tired, but like I met everyone. I got my autographs, got my photos, and I
Oh,
sat there and
yay.
I watched the YouTube thing. And I was like, okay, I'm just really, really tired. And I was like, I overdid it. This is what I always do. I overexert myself. I need to step back and relax. Right.
Yeah.
And so then I wake up on Monday and my fever is at 102. And
Oof.
so
Rough.
this is So Spencer's asking who I actually got autographs from, and now come to think of it, I only got photos, and it was with the What Culture guys, not anyone at WrestleMania or any of the WWE superstars. I actually have a lot of WWE autographs from my time at Tops and from
Yeah.
having met them at other events.
Mhm.
But the What Culture guys are awesome, and they put on a fantastic show. So
Oh, that's
it
rad.
was. Yeah, it was great. I'm so glad we went, especially now knowing what happened next. Like, I'm glad
Yeah.
we got to go because then I was out of
Woo.
commission for 2 weeks. So Monday morning, I wake up, 102 fever. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to City Med because treating this fever with Tylenol isn't working. There's a root cause. And I think I was telling you this before. I thought they were just going to give me a Z pack and send me on my way.
Mhm.
And then I got sent to the emergency room because they were like,
Jeez.
you have an infection. You need to get taken care of. And we can't do that here at the City Med. And then I'm at the emergency room and I'm thinking I'm still like delusional. I'm like, oh, they're going to give me a Z pack and send me on my way. This real
Delulu.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, this seems really unnecessary, but I will say I was having such pain in my, like, stomach and my chest and everything, and at one point I was like, "Oh, this really hurts me. Did my appendix burst?" Like,
Yeah.
I went
Okay,
right to
so
that.
I know
Yeah,
2 people this last week that have had their appendix burst. So
yeah.
I was worried about
Happened to
you
one of my
too.
coworkers
Like,
a
what
few
is
months
going
ago.
on? It's
Yeah,
crazy. So I was
and
worried about you when you said that you weren't feeling well. I'm like, "Oh, no."
yeah. Well, that's the thing now. I think
Sheesh.
my conspiracy theory is everyone and everything post-COVID, all of our immune systems are forever destroyed.
Shot.
So, like a normal cold now becomes DEFCON 5. And it's happened to
Yeah.
me like I've used more sick
Oh,
days at this one job that I've been at for 3 years than I think every
yeah.
job I've had combined
Thank
prior.
you.
Like,
Yes.
it's really and it's
Same.
post-COVID. It has nothing to do with me not wanting to be there. I like this job. So, it's the kind of thing where I'm like, I legitimately can't get out of bed. So, I'm in the emergency room thinking and by the way, I swear we're gonna talk about Star Wars tonight. We're gonna do the best of season 3. It's gonna be awesome.
But we missed
Um,
Mark, so we need a
yeah,
recap.
everyone needs to experience,
The saga.
the trauma. Um, and so I'm there and on eclipse day, and I'm like, "Well, I hope I get out in time to see the eclipse." I'm, again, delusional. And
Agreed.
they put me on a bunch of antibiotics because they were like, "Sir, you have, like, a really bad fever. We need to hear what's your situation, what's the story?" And you repeat, like, everything to the doctor, being like, "Well, my fever started on Friday. I didn't think anything of it. I've got this kinda chest pain. You need to take a look at this." They do all these tests. They give you, like, the ultrasound and like they just pump you full of antibiotics and they take a ton of blood. And the one guy told me I was a good bleeder. I was like, I can't. Like I was really I know. And so
Oh,
then I find out hours later they're admitting me, and I like broke down in tears. I was like, I can't go to the hospital. I just can't. I was like, meanwhile I'm already in the hospital. So they admitted me. Jason went home at that point once I got put into my room because he was with me the whole time.
oh.
And then the next day, like I didn't sleep at all. I don't know if anyone's been in a hospital recently, but
You
like your
can't.
brain's going a mile a minute. I'm
There's no
exhausted,
rest.
but
They're in and
impossible to
out,
sleep.
checking you.
Yeah.
There's hospital noises. There's other people screaming. It's chaos.
Yeah, between
Hospital.
taking your temperature every
Hi, Lori.
hour and, my blood pressure was up, but my heart rate was really high, and so that's what they were concerned about. So, they just
Ooh.
had to get my
Yeah,
white blood
bro.
cell count down. I ended up having a bacterial infection, which was really, like it was actually, like, really scary. Like, now that it's all like, I've had time to process all this because when you're in the moment, you're just annoyed.
Yeah.
And that, like, I
Figure this
think
out faster. Come on.
yeah. So everyone in the chat, have you seen Inside Out? You know how there's like one emotion that like drives the centerpiece of the keyboard, right? Like I think everyone thinks mine is anger, but mine is actually disgust. And so
You
I'm
are
like I'm Mindy
totally
Kaling disgust.
Mindy Kaling.
Yeah.
Totally.
So that's really where how I like led through all of that. I'm just like annoyed. Thank you, Lori, for the kind words. I'm
Yeah.
feeling a million times better. By the way, thank you to Skip for covering for me for the past
No,
two
no, no,
weeks.
no,
Skip
no.
and
Ski Preckle.
Ski Preckle. That's right. Ski Preckle. Oh my
Wait,
God, I didn't even see this. Of
right?
course I know him. It's me.
Ski. The
Ski Preckle.
best. I
Leave it
love
to
it.
leave it to Harrison Ford to mess that up. Like,
Right? If he's
yeah,
gonna go,
it couldn't have been someone that we could go get another $40 autograph from on the floor. It had to be,
yeah, there's
yeah.
no $40 autograph
What a
unless it's
mess.
written in
Yeah,
crayon by Harrison's cousin. I don't know.
yeah. Ugh. So, by the way, I'm gonna wrap this up with the hospital. So I stayed on Tuesday, so Monday night into Tuesday, and then Tuesday I thought they were gonna send me home, and they were like, you still need to stay one more day as they continue to pump me full of antibiotics,
Oh
and then
my
they
god.
identified like the root cause, and then I get a prescription antibiotics, which I just finished taking yesterday. I was on
Yeah.
antibiotics for 2 weeks. I also can't lift weights, can't work out. I was told I can walk, but nothing more strenuous than that. I know. So I didn't go to work that whole week. And then on Monday, I took the train in because I was worried about driving because I was still like legitimately dizzy from like the antibiotics and
Oh
everything.
yeah, they're
And it's why I was
powerful.
like, I can't, like, I came home last
Yeah.
Monday and I was in bed by 8 o'clock. Like, yeah,
Yep. I was like,
it was
nope.
wild.
Go to bed. We'll find somebody.
Yeah. I was like,
Ski
thank you,
Pruckle,
Skip, for covering. So, and
internet
thank you, you
celebrity.
guys did a great job, by the way.
Thank
Skip was,
you.
which this is a nice little, so we're sort of like setting up for the next evolution of the show as we get into Clone Wars Revisited with having Skip as our co-host on every week. So that's going to be really fun.
He's gonna be so
Yeah.
excited. We're gonna go. Yeah, he's an internet celebrity. So if he doesn't get that hockey jersey with Ski Pruckle on the back, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
That's awesome. Oh, I got
Because
to get my hockey
it's
jersey.
it's
Damn
not
it.
just like the group giving him a nickname. It's Harrison Ford giving him a nickname. It needs to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to do it. So Ashley, tell me what you did for the past 2 weeks because I was pretty bad at keeping up with people. While at one
Okay.
point I was bored, and then at the next point I was like, I can't look at my phone. Like, and you know how that goes. Where I'm just like, I'm just gonna lay here and just like I watched so much bad television over the course of those days.
Okay, first of all, did you cry at X-Men 97 episode 5?
Yeah, just what I needed, like the extra trauma as I'm like
What
hanging on
the
by a thread. Yeah.
oh, the words, like, oh my god, it was like, yeah, Sherry said she's glad you're all right.
Thank you,
Um,
Sherry.
no, honestly, like, you guys all shush, Spencer, there is good TV. Um,
X-Men '97 is probably the best
it's
TV on right
damn
now.
good TV.
Yeah.
Okay. Gambit and Rogue are my favorite X-Men. Gambit, Rogue, Psylocke.
Mhm.
Top 3 right there.
Oh, Psylocke's an interesting one. We got to
Actually,
come back to
Rogue,
that.
Gambit, and then Psylocke.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are my top 3.
Mhm.
And when episode 5 happened, like I just got when he like charged the bike and threw it at Rogue to stop her, I'm like, no, no, and I'm just like watching TV, and then he gets impaled, and I just started crying, and then he just like remember it and just blew up the set. Oh
I
my
should have
god,
known from the episode title,
I
and I
had
did not.
tears,
Mhm.
and Alan was just like, it's okay. I'm like, no, it's not
No, it's
okay.
not. It's 'cause you know why? It
But
is
he,
specifically made to be millennial trauma. Like, I read
mhm,
the whole thing from the creator. He was like, "Oh, this is your 9/11/Pulse," and I was like,
yeah,
"Oh, thanks for that. That's exactly what I needed to relive as I'm laying here
seriously,
on the couch."
what the fuck?
Um,
No,
yeah.
sorry.
It was
Yeah,
so good, though. I
and
mean,
yeah.
I
Oh my
look,
god.
I'm not like a trauma baiter where it's like, you know how some things are really created for the sole intention of like making you feel terrible, and if like, but this felt so accurate to what X-Men is. Like, there's this huge reveling celebration while there's like an undertone underneath of just concern, and then the concern actualizes, right? Like the risk that we all think is out there
No
because,
one's
and
ever allowed to be
yeah.
truly happy because someone will have a problem
Yeah.
somewhere.
Well, isn't that the
And
queer
it's
experience,
yes,
right?
and it's never the other way around. Like we don't go destroying their ideas of fun. It's always like the opposite. So it,
This
it's
is
it's
like
tough.
if you're a part of any oppressed minority group, whether it's people of color or a different nationality or a different religion, or if you're, and honestly, I think the X-Men work best as a queer analogy, or women in general. Like, there's always this concern that like you can only keep your eye off the ball for like a second. Like, you always have to have your defenses up, even in a safe space. Like, this is where it
Yeah.
comes back to Pulse, right? Um, Someone's going to invade and just like shoot the place up. And this is what happened to these characters. And yes, it's super heavy handed. And honestly, it will probably be undone by the time travel component. I
Because
mean, they threw
cable.
in Cable for a reason, right? Like, they were like, here's your thread of hope that like Cable knows what's happening. He meets up with Madeline. There's gonna be a moment where this gets undone, and I don't think it'll cheapen it because I think this like episode really stuck with people. And I think that you can feel it. Like, this was one where, like, especially that line at the end when Rogue says that she can't feel Gambit when it goes black, and I was like, well, first of all, Wanda, 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 right there with Vision, and it was just heartbreaking. And I'm like, oh man, the voice acting in the show is so good. The writing is
I
fantastic. Like,
love my girl Lenore. Oh,
she's
she's so good.
amazing. She's
So
so
good.
good in this role. This many years later, she's still killing it. So
Yeah, I'm so glad they brought her back. I don't think anyone else could be Rogue. Oh, thanks,
uh,
Scooby.
thank you, Scoob.
Yeah,
So
those I don't know, yesterday was my birthday. We are gonna go to Boston, but it was just kind of cloudy and meh. So we
Mhm.
stayed close. We just went to Providence for the day, and
I thought you were doing something next weekend. Did I have that wrong?
yeah, we ended up moving it to next weekend. So
Yeah.
that way
Okay.
it's easier, and then we just have more time. So
Nice. Well, that'll be
yeah,
fun.
thanks. Yeah, and it's just been Um, I worked on some charity cards for the Star Wars card collectors, which
Ooh.
goes to raise money for the National Alliance of Mental Health, or name. I'm not sure exactly what it's pardon me, what it stands for, but the
Mhm.
name of the organization is name, and it's mental health awareness. So, um, in memory of Marcus Doring. So
Oh,
that was
wow.
really cool. A lot of the artists and the collectors chose that in memory of Marcus. So
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah,
yeah.
he was one of our community.
Hmm.
I'm glad that he's being remembered. This is always
Thanks a lot.
sad and terrible, and it's
Yeah,
nice though when everyone rallies together and does something like that. That's really nice. What did you
absolutely.
draw?
I think I can show now because because they did the sketch fest. Usually when they do that, they like um. Oh, wait a minute. So
Ooh,
I did
I
Sabine
I love
and
that Sabine. And they're all good,
Hera.
but I love the Sabine. It's very
Uh,
colorful.
yeah, I tried to like make her in my style, like kind of veer away from the cartoon and just kind of give her like a little more. Same thing with
Mhm.
Hera. And then we got Ahsoka and Jin.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Thank you. So I
Is
did
there a
4
place
for
that
the set.
people can go bid on these? Because I'm assuming this is part of you said it's a fundraiser.
Yeah, so what people do, collectors join the Star Wars card collector group. They do it every year. It's I think they donate money to get like a certain amount of cards, and then all the proceeds go to a cause,
Hmm.
and the artist does the cards, and it gets shipped out at random to all these collectors. Thank you, Sherry.
Great.
Thanks, Jeff. And
We'll put a link in the chat where
yeah,
people can find this. That
yeah,
way, you can go support this great cause and help
yeah,
remember Marcus, which I think is an important part of this as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think what else I did. Oh yeah, I would have been like really freaking bummed out if I missed this, but my friend Emma runs a scoundrel and heroes inspired company that makes Star Wars inspired stuff. So she did the Loth Cat inspired hoodie. She made herself
Hmm.
like a kigurumi, like a
Mm,
bodysuit of this, but she decided that it would be easier if she did a hoodie
I
for
agree.
it. So
Yeah.
she had them up for pre-order earlier this year, but I had to miss it because I had to fix my car, and she had some leftover, so I was able to get one for
Oh,
myself
that's
for my
great.
birthday, and it's so freaking cute. It's got like
Hoodies and
felt
onesies
on the
are,
back.
yeah, that's
It's so
neat.
cool. So cool.
Hoodies and onesies are very on trend, kids.
Oh my god,
Be on
look
the
at this.
lookout from, yeah, and yeah, I like that it pulls over like that too.
It's so
Um,
huge.
It's
So huge.
it was the hot Halloween trend last year, and I think it'll continue.
Oh
People
yeah.
like being comfortable. Now that we're actually out of the house, like, it's no longer indoor comfort wear, you need outdoor comfort wear, and this is where this kinda stuff comes in.
Oh yeah,
And, of
people come
course,
into
like,
my work in bathrobes. I'm like,
oh,
okay.
yeah. The blend too of, cosplay, costumes, and actual clothing is overlapping more and more, and I'm actually dealing with this as a licensee, like what defines
That's
a
rad.
costume versus like what defines apparel.
Mhm.
And there's an amazing apparel company that specializes in gym wear, and they're doing a whole Mighty Morphin Power Rangers line, and it
Yeah.
looks like workout gear, but it looks like they're spandex suit. Like, it's crazy. They're these running shorts and this shirt, and I was like, first of all, I don't have the body for that, and not many people do.
Yes, you do.
But
Shut
like,
up.
no,
Oh my god.
this is very like this is beyond skin tight. But it's the
This
kind
is
of
like
thing where like
dance belt
this
skin.
is no,
Oh.
this is like fitness. This is Instagram fitness model level kind of stuff, but they're
Oh,
very cool looking. If I can find it,
so
I'll
rad.
put it in the chat because I
Yeah.
actually think that like there are other ones that are hoodies, and the hoodie I could wear.
Oh
And
yeah.
the hoodie really looks like the Power Ranger suit. I'm just waiting for them to do blue because right now they just have red and black, I think. So they're like rolling out the colors. You got to start with red. It's the core.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. He's always
yeah,
the leader.
yeah.
I'm like, is
Um,
anyone else a Red Ranger? Come on.
yeah. And look,
Someone
it's always
else.
going to go back to Mighty Morphin. It's the seasons that matter. Um,
Absolutely.
I gave so for everyone who joined us in the chat, we are going to talk Star Wars, and we're going to be looking at Rebels season 3. We did want to hit a few of the other big pop culture things, and I know that obviously Ashley and Skip were keeping tabs on everything that was happening while we were gone, or I was gone. Bad Batch is flying toward the finale. We only have a couple weeks left, and man, has
Not
it
okay.
gotten tense.
Not
Yeah.
okay. Like things are just out of control, and I'm just like, what? What is happening? Why are we back here? And those poor kids. I just want to rescue them all.
Yeah, I
I'm not
assume.
ready, Jeff. I'm not.
Yeah, no, I can't believe there's only 2 episodes left. And here's the
Mhm.
thing, it's still a kid show and it's still Disney and it is Star Wars, and even though Star Wars is very bleak, they're going to rescue those kids.
Yeah.
Um and I don't think any of the kids will die. I do think several adults will die. My prediction is that um Crosshair's not going to make it out alive, and I think he'll sacrifice himself to save Omega. I think we talked about this a few weeks ago. And look, I love Crosshair. I wish they would save him, but I don't think he's making it. I don't think that uh,
Ooh.
Hunter or Wrecker have that great of a chance either. But I think if you're going to save one, it would be like Wrecker, because he's the most like, um, he's the one that the kids like can relate to the most.
Yeah.
Um, and also he's like not as smart as Hunter, and I feel like that's better to have someone sort of a little bit bumbling just make his way out, because he's not going to have a big impact on the actual activities that follow. But yeah, I don't know. Omega has a huge future ahead of her, with whatever happens next. And I gotta say, I love this character now. I did not like her in season 1, episode 1, and now I'm like rooting for her with
Yeah.
everything I got.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah,
You stuck with it and you're sticking the landing. I'm great. Yeah, thank you, Sherry.
she's the Ahsoka model. It's where they introduce you to someone and you're like, oh, you're young and annoying, and I don't like you. And they did it with Ezra too. And then I was
Ezra.
like, damn it, you're my favorite character.
What are you
So and they
doing?
trick me
Why do
every
I like him?
time. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Spencer. Yeah, we're all on the same page here. I think sharing the brain cell,
Ooh.
where like Disney has done this 3 times now at least, and we're all like shocked when it happens.
Ooh. Scooby making bold predictions. I feel like Asajj will
Oh,
take the kiddos to the path. Read Dark Disciple. And
I
well,
love that.
obviously
I
you
love
saw it
that
in
idea.
Kenobi, and possibly lead to a new path related animated series. I'm down.
Mm,
I'm down.
I like it. I want to see a full
Continuing what
redemption for Asajj.
Quinlan started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if Quinlan's been there, Asajj can't be far behind. Is my thought.
Nope.
So, and Quinlan was name dropped in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Hey, Spencer.
Yeah. Yes, everyone gets redemptions.
Redemption.
Um, yeah, I would love to see Asajj come back. Here's the thing. They do it in Rebels. They bring back everyone at the end of the series, like
Mhm.
everyone we've met, and they're doing it now. Actually, they're already making their way through. I mean, we've seen Wanda Sykes come back. Like we've seen all of the characters they've crossed paths with,
Yep.
like return for the season. I think a lot of them will be in the finale, and you know the finale episode, like what is it called? The Cavalry Arrives. It's gonna be a little bit of a bloodbath, but it's also gonna be really really fun and action packed
Hashtag
and
where is Gonky?
yeah, Gonky. Oh my God, someone save Gonky. Um,
Does anybody know if Gonky is okay?
yeah. Do we
All
have a
I care
location
about
on Gonky?
do we have parts? Hello.
Oh
What is
man.
happening?
Yeah.
Oh,
I I
still one of the greater questions of the show
what's
right now.
today's Monday. So okay, we have 2 more days. All right, we're gonna get a new X-Men. By the way, this starts the finale for X-Men because there's 3 episodes left. There's only 2 left of Bad Batch, but there's only 3 left of X-Men. And the title is Tolerance is Extinction. It's something like that. So and it's a 3-parter. And if it's
Oh, so they're
anything,
ending on that note. Oh my
yeah,
god.
I mean, it's going to carry over the Genosha stuff,
Absolutely.
which I gotta say, in that episode when Scott lost it and told the woman, "We're nothing like you, and you're lucky that we're nothing like you because mutants don't attack humans, and she should consider herself lucky." I would love him to go full Magneto and just start randomly killing humans and become the face of
He
X-Men
goes
villainy.
dark in the
He has to.
comics.
He should. And
Yeah.
deservedly so. And I think even innocent bystander humans, I'm willing to sacrifice a bunch of them for the good storytelling that would come from it. Because I think we can't show mutants as always being, when they go low, we go high. I don't think we always need them over here. And now that Magneto is not in the villain space, I think you should take someone who's such a fucking goody goody like Scott
Boy
and
Scout.
snap him. If you snap him, like if you're able to snap Scott, like this is how bad it's gotten. Like I'm
That's
team.
exactly what they do in the comics during the
Yeah,
Chris Bachalo run. Oh,
I'm
it's
ready for that.
insane.
Let's
So
watch
crazy.
Scott Snap. I'm here for it. Um, one more piece of X-Men news, and then I swear we're gonna get to Star Wars. Uh, I'm assuming that every single person in this chat watched the trailer that happened today with Wolverine and Deadpool, right? Um,
The
I don't.
Easter eggs were crazy in
Yeah.
this.
Do you want to build a snowman? So aside from the fact that I can't do any good drugs at the moment, I was so aside. Here's the thing. I'm pretty clean to begin with, but like I couldn't do anything outside of my antibiotics. It was like no alcohol, like anything, and so I'm still averse. And because like I got a bacterial infection, I was like, what did I do? What did I drink? What did I eat? Like I'm so averse to all things right now. I don't think I can even be near a snowman. Um, but that being said, that trailer blew me away.
I'm telling you, it's Ryan Reynolds gleefully chewing the scenery, and I think he's excited, and it's so evident that they got Hugh Jackman back. Not only
Yeah,
back, but back in the blue and yellow suit. Like,
and two versions. We got the sleeve covered version and then the sleeveless version, which looks a
yeah,
little bit battle damaged. It's almost like okay, we're nearing the
he
final
just
battle.
ripped it off and then
Yeah,
kicked the butt. Yeah, great new posters. Those are rad. And
posters are great. Yeah,
I love everything about it. I love the sneaky little Liefeld's just feet sign in the back. I was
yeah.
crying. I had to circle it and send it to my friend. Like, look at this nonsense.
It's wild. I couldn't
Oh, so
believe. I
funny.
mean, how many times did they say "fuck" in the trailer? There's at least
I
7. Um,
yeah,
so right
easily.
off the bat, they're
Red
telling you what
band
this
for
movie
sure.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also, I mean, I gotta say, Madonna's "Like a Prayer" is a really interesting choice for a variety of reasons. One,
Is it though? We know
I
Ryan.
well, that
So
yeah. So someone was like, "All right, first of all, we love to queer code everything, right? Like it's not gay, but it's gay-ish. Like, and that's what Deadpool and Wolverine are. I mean, they're talking about like you have more fun when you come together. Like, there's nothing subtle about their marketing campaign with the two of these boys. And if they don't make
absolutely.
out at some point, it's like, what are we even doing here? But like a Prayer is very, very gay and Madonna, right? But it's also, I think, the age range that makes sense for the two of them. They're Gen Xers, and so like she's the pop star of the Gen X generation. And also, people have been praying for this movie, is what
Oh
someone said
yeah.
in one of those like recap Easter egg videos. It was
Yeah,
either
it said
Ryan Airy or
answered
one of
our
them.
prayers. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's like this is what you've been
oh,
praying for.
John, absolutely. That was absolutely chilling. The Ant-Man helmet opening up for the skull. Oh my god, it was
Yeah,
awesome.
to bring
I'm an
out what is
Ant-Man
it?
fan. That was harsh.
And that's Cassandra, the bald lady, right? Professor X's sister, Cassandra.
Cassandra Nova.
Cassandra Nova, yes. I don't know the comics as well as you do, or most people in the chat. So
So Cassandra Nova was Professor Xavier's twin, and she ended up, um, you know, being powerful and in the womb, and to stop her from becoming all powerful, um, Professor X kind of absorbed her in the womb, and I guess she came from like an alternate universe, and that's a little bit of the backstory in the comics. It's really
mhm.
bizarre, really weird. Um,
Yeah, I like the
but
weird stuff.
yeah, so X-Men does get weird. This
Yeah.
is weird. Um,
Even weird for X-Men is in like a different territory. It's a different plane of existence.
this is absolutely out there.
Mhm.
So this is going to be insanity. And she is more powerful than Professor Xavier, and Professor Xavier had to do this to stop her and just basically absorb her out of existence. And in an alternate universe, she seeks her revenge.
Mm,
So she's bringing the heat.
yeah. Oh, look, obviously we're
Yeah.
dealing with variants and multiverses and the TVA and
TVA. Yeah.
maybe incursions. I think everyone noticed the Doctor Strange style portal. So I don't know if
Uh,
I would think Wong would be in it more than anyone else. There's still the rumor that Taylor Swift is going to play Dazzler, which I'm not 100% sold on. But like,
I'm
you know.
pretty sure she's gonna, or at least she'll have a cameo somewhere.
Here's the thing, if she's in that movie, every Swiftie will see it. It's already gonna make $800 million domestic. It will go $1 billion domestic if she's in the movie also, because every straight guy needs to go see this movie with their bros, and then every Swiftie is gonna go see this movie to see her for 30 seconds. All the men who are my age, and then all the kids, and people are gonna go to repeat
I
viewings.
mean,
Like,
think about
I
it. There was
yeah.
Brad Pitt in Deadpool 2. There
Yeah.
was, you know, Josh Brolin. All these actors
I
that
love
are like,
Josh Brolin. He's one of
yeah,
my all-time favorites. He was so good,
so good
just
as Cable.
so good in Deadpool 2,
Yeah.
which yeah, look, we could go on and on about Deadpool and Wolverine, and you're going to go before family vacation as a group, is what Spencer is saying.
Yep.
Yes,
Just
I
part of the
think
trip.
that this is going to be outings. Like, I think people are going to be booking tickets with their like friend groups. Like, this actually feels like event cinema, the way that every other movie is trying to be. And the
Mhm.
nice thing is, like, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are both patently ridiculous people, right? Like, they're just having a blast doing everything they do. They're
I
silly,
love it.
silly men. They're
Yep.
very silly, and
Love
they
it.
lean into it, and they don't take themselves seriously. And I think that's why it works. Like, these characters are utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman, the whiskey dick thing just made me crack up because he is 50. Like, it's like, what are you doing? Like, in this role, in this spandex with these claws, sir, you're embarrassing yourself. And at the same time, he's never looked better. Like, it's kinda crazy. Like, the 2 of them have such good on-screen chemistry,
Oh, they're
and by
so
the way, we
funny.
still don't know a thing about this what this movie's about. Like, they're just showing us clips, but, like, I haven't pieced together a plot yet.
I don't even care.
Yeah. No, I don't either.
It could just be this, the banter and the FUs for an entire like 2 hours, and
Yeah.
just I'll just be like, "Sign me up."
Yeah, I
Sit
I
here and
didn't
eat some
believe you. I
popcorn.
think it's gonna be largely that. I actually think the reviews are on the critic side are gonna be like, "People expected it to be the greatest thing ever, and it's only okay." And it's like, it's still gonna make
And
$800 million.
it's
I don't
gonna be
even care.
100% audience review.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I love
Um,
the Kevin Feige comments
yeah.
snuck into that.
We were going through all the lines, and it was, or all the lines, and I there was one I
All
didn't
the
know. Yeah,
metaphors.
all
Yeah.
the metaphors, and there was one that I didn't recognize. The others, I was like, "Those all track," but I was cracking up, 'cause, "Do you wanna build a snowman?" "Yes, but he won't let me." It's so
Yes, but I
stupid.
can't.
I can't.
Oh, and he just
Yeah.
leaves.
All right, we should leave the X-Men universe. We should also exit the ghetto Milky Way, which I'm dying over that line from X-Men, and head to a galaxy far, far away, and talk a little bit about Star Wars Rebels, because we are in what our own little end game over here. We just
Yeah.
finished our watch through for season 3 a couple weeks ago, so we spent some time digging through all the episodes in the season, all of the big moments. I remember we were watching some listicles. I at one point was like, I had a YouTube video out of what other people thought the best moments from season 3 were, in order to help us like, you know, come up with our own thoughts, because there's a lot happening in this like crazy season. Like,
Yeah.
season 3 is wild. It's really a hodgepodge of nonsense when you look at it from a high level.
Yeah. Um, it's got Thrawn at his throniest.
Hmm.
It's got the return of Maul. It's got the return of Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Yeah.
which who saw that coming?
No, that Twin Sons episode makes not a lick of sense, but there it was. So, you
And
know,
it's probably one of the most important episodes in Star Wars. Like,
yes, it
honestly,
just buried into season 3 of Rebels.
it's
Like,
just it's like
yeah,
you start watching this and you're like, "Oh, okay, they're on Tatooine. Everybody's in Tatooine." And then you just
yeah.
keep watching and you're
Why
like,
does everyone want to go back to Tatooine?
"It's all those desert planets, man. Nobody can ever leave." It's just like it's just like some kind of social ladder in Star Wars.
Mhm.
Everybody goes to Tatooine, everybody goes to Jakku. But you realize that Maul has been grooming Ezra for this purpose to find Kenobi and seek his revenge. And he's so vengeance driven, and it's just like it comes out of nowhere. Like, obviously we've talked about
Yeah,
this in the past, and it's probably one of the most stunning episodes in in Star Wars, like any Star Wars episodic television. Um,
yeah, I
Another
agree.
thing that I absolutely love about this episode is um, the stakes are higher and higher. Um, Lothal is no longer safe. Thrawn is getting crafty.
Hmm.
Their bases are slowly being whittled out by um, their mechanations trying to get help and help the rebellion. but Thrawn's watching. He's whittling down those locations. And Ezra, the growth that Ezra goes through, both like commanding episodes and learning what he can since Kanan goes blind, training with Sabine and the Darksaber, Sabine's new armor. I love season 3 Sabine
Mm,
look. It's my favorite, absolute favorite, as evidenced by that card. But
yeah, very
yeah,
colorful.
so much good stuff.
Season 3, there's an underlying current of tension and concern that is much stronger than what we see in seasons 1 and 2. Like
Right.
season 3 dials up the dark side, and you can see it on the poster. Look at this is the poster. So this graphic that's behind us is taken from the official poster for season 3, and you've
Yeah.
got a giant Darth Maul hovering in the background. Even though he's not in that many episodes of the season, he's like the looming specter that's behind
Yes.
everything because it's really Ezra grappling with his own pull to the dark side. And so it's really at the heart of season 3 we have two things happening. Ezra is fighting himself, right? He's dealing with all of the problems from the dark side. Like he gets the Sith holocron at the end of season 2, and he's dealing with Maul popping in and out. They have the twin sons experience where like Maul's finally killed by Obi-Wan and all of that. But like the underlying current of
Shocking.
that is Ezra trying to figure out how to manage the pull to the dark side while also growing as a Jedi. We see him kill people in the episode, the season 3 premiere, and he struggles with that throughout the season. And at the same time, things are getting more and more serious at every turn.
Yeah.
They run into Saw Gerrera. They have to rescue Mon Mothma and Secret Cargo. They have to deal with Callus defecting. We get like that's a big move. Again, the arrival of Thrawn really kicks things into high gear because before that we were dealing with incompetent Imperials and we had the Inquisitors, but somehow Thrawn is more horrifying than both of them, and they're being chased down. And you're right, he's like zeroing in on them, right? Which then leads to the finale where they get found out on the base. So the whole season they're being chased by Thrawn, and like it seems like the walls are closing in. And the walls are
Pulling
closing in metaphorically on Ezra at
out.
the same time. Yeah,
Yes.
it's really, really scary. And as you go through the whole series, like season 3 again feels all over the place because there's so much happening. But if you follow the start to finish of where they start, where they end, you could just it really feels like after season 2, everything expanding and getting so much bigger, season 3 feels like it's coming in at them and they're just
Oh yeah.
being chased and they're running away. And it then leads to season 4 where they have no place to go except back to Lothal. So it's really like season 3 is like quite scary. It's
Yeah.
a little bit wild. Especially when you get to an episode like Visions and Voices where they encounter the Night Sisters.
Oh my
It's like a
god.
straight up horror episode.
Possession,
Yeah.
creepy altars and caves, dead bodies being resurrected. Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
awful.
And Maul at the
And I mean,
center of
like,
it, of course.
of course, pulling the
The o-
strings.
the only one more dramatic than Anakin Skywalker in the entirety of Star Wars. So that drama queen.
Absolutely. Oh my god, you nailed it. The drama with
The
these two.
drama. Yeah.
And he even dies in the most dramatic way. Like, think about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he's so confident he's gonna win, and Obi-Wan just like takes him down. So yeah, I love
Like,
everything
nope,
about it.
I learned my lesson. You didn't. Sorry.
Yeah. By the way, for anyone who doesn't like that episode, Twin Sons, or the actual lightsaber fight, you should listen to Sam Witwer's sort of discourse on that. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, because he gives a really good primer on to like why it works. So John brings up a good point. Season
Yes.
3 feels somewhat like The Empire Strikes Back with the way that they're constantly running, and it's true. So there's this time period, and actually they're exploring it now in the comics, which is interesting that it's happening in like real time in the years like 2022, 23, 24, where there was a run of Star Wars mainline comics called Destination Hoth, and it was like from A New Hope to finding the base on Hoth, they were being like chased down by the Empire to try to find that one location. And then, of course, we all know what happens in Empire Strikes Back. They get to Hoth, they're not there that long. The Empire finds them and obliterates them, and like not a lot of them escape, and it gets more and more hopeless as we go. That's
Yeah.
exactly where we are, like right on the cusp of Hoth. This chopper base, which is Adelon, feels just like that. And they're hiding out for like a hot minute until they're found out by a probe. And then Thrawn hits the ground in the same helmet as General Veers. It brings you all the Empire Strikes Back feels right there. By the way,
Absolutely.
him and his helmet, he looks great in the field. Thrawn kicks all the ass.
But
So
he's
it's
never in the field, so this
I
is like
know.
he's usually
It's so
over
shocking.
over the maps or
Yeah. Oh, we didn't even mention the
hologram.
Bendu. The Bendu and the big spiders, probably the scariest thing. So they find their safe haven surrounded by giant spiders. So there's like I feel like no place is safe in this universe. Like this galaxy is messed up. Like no, I don't want to live anywhere. You know when they're like, "Oh, what planet would you live on in Star Wars?" None of them. None of them. Send me back to Earth. They're all terrible. Like I got giant spiders floating over here. Hoth is all ice. It's all deserts on Tatooine. There's no water. This is terrible. The quality of life is awful on every single planet.
Nope, awful.
Yeah.
And the
So
Empire's making Lothal a wreck, so it's not much easier.
yeah,
You
Lothal would be
can't
the
say Lothal.
place. If you
Yeah.
post Return of the Jedi or post, I guess, family reunion and farewell, Lothal, like that feels like a good spot. You're on the
Oh yeah.
upswing. And you're in the outer ring. People probably leave you alone a little bit. So
Yes. At least they have the
yeah,
Council of the Fourth Doctor.
that's
John
right.
says.
Tom Baker. We should talk
Legend.
about. I'm gonna give you like a quick listicle of the characters that get introduced in season 3 because it is wild. We got Thrawn.
Mhm.
Mon Mothma makes the scene. Saw Gerrera returns, voiced by Forrest Whitaker, by the way, which is kind of awesome. And I should mention Thrawn, played by Lars Mikkelsen, who's now doing it in live action, which is very cool.
So
Mon
stoked.
Mothma by Genevieve O'Reilly, who was the
Your
live action Mon
girl.
Mothma from Rogue One. I love her. I'm obsessed. Um, Wedge Antilles is introduced in this season because Sabine extracts him in the Antilles extraction, right? Rescues him from the piloting school, which is a great episode. We
Yeah.
meet AP5. We get the Night Sisters, which is
Legends.
uh,
AP5.
the best. And by the way, Stephen Stanton, one of my like truly like all-time
That's
favorites in
it.
Star Wars, and someone I consider like a real friend. He's just awesome.
Love him.
Um, the Night Sisters pop in for a minute, as you were saying, and Anna Graves does one of the voices, and so does Catherine Tabor. So we get a little Clone Wars throwback action right there. Callus becomes one of the rebellion, which is very, very cool. And we meet the Bendu, played by the one and only Tom Baker, who's just amazing. Like, it's crazy the amount of stuff that happens. Oh, we also meet like the Iron Squadron, which is, Mort Matten and that crew. And whether you like them or not, Mort Matten sticks around to the end. So, he's there.
And was it Goody?
Goody, yep, Goody Therese, based
Goody
on
Therese.
based on Andy Gutierrez. Yeah,
Love her.
the name
Love her.
anyway, not the look.
Yeah.
I think she's purple in the show,
Yeah.
but yeah, Andy, who of course famously hosted the Star Wars show and of course Rebels Recon, which I
And the live
recommend.
stage at
Yes,
Celebration.
the best.
Love
I've
her.
I've met her and Anthony, and they're both just spectacular. I don't know if
Yay.
I realize that they're not like people who would have meet and greets at Celebration, and you probably could only meet them if you were like a guest on the stage or something. But if you ever have a chance to even just say hello to them, they're just both incredible people.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope they come
But yeah,
back.
this season has so much happening in it. I don't even know if I could pick like a favorite thing. Like I was
Well,
looking
we
at the
also
episode
have like
list, and
the
it's like,
return of Fen Rao. Like Fen Rao comes back.
oh yeah, that's
Um,
right.
he gifts Sabine the Mandalorian bracer, which,
Yep.
as Mandalorians do, they just have their rockets or like their lassos, anything to just kind of like distract the enemy and disable the enemy quicker. And Sabine learns the hard way. So I think having Fen around just kind of shows Kanan and Ezra that there's like a Mandalorian way of thinking, and it's not
hmm
just the Jedi way, and it's to kind of meet in the middle there. So
And we do get a good amount of Mandalore lore in this season.
Mandalore.
Trials of the Dark Saber, Legacy of Mandalore, and Visions and Voices all have big, big Mandalore components that
Mhm.
then pay off in season 4. But this is really the start of Sabine's sort of separate journey from the rest of the Ghost. Like she's given the dark saber, or at least she grabs it from like the den of the Night Sisters from Maul, and
Freaky.
then trains with it with Ezra and Kanan. I will say, I think we did a listicle
Yeah,
already on Sabine, and that was the top moment was her training with the dark saber for the most part. I think we all agreed that
yeah.
was the height, and I think it's one of Kanan's best moments too. Like her
Mhm.
working her working with him, and Ezra helping and Fen Rao being there. It felt like a team effort. And
Yeah.
Sabine like really shines in season 3 and becomes not just a member. Like, you know how some people feel like Zeb often feels like a cog in the wheel of the Ghost.
Yeah.
Like Sabine really shines as an individual character in season 3.
Hmm. Yeah, the amount of growth she goes through, she kind of lets those walls down, both in her training methods, but also like in her personal life, because I feel like she lives with the Ghost Crew. She's been with them for several years at this point, and they still don't know a lot about her. So when she opens up and says like she made this weapon for the Empire,
Hmm.
they used it against her family, they used it against the Mandalorians.
Yeah,
They destroyed many of them already.
that
And
was very
it was just
surprising.
the guilt was there, and it was raw, and it was like, huh, well, that's why she's cold and aloof all the time, because, she's worried about her family, she's worried about her home, she feels horribly complicit in the deaths of her people. It's so huge, and yeah, exactly, John. I wish it happened sooner.
Yeah, and
That's
I will
sad.
say, the the background on her family just gets like more and more tragic as we continue to peel that onion. And when I finally meet the mom, and you know how I feel about the mom, I would have slapped her right in the face like day one, minute one, for disowning Sabine over everything. And she redeems herself in the end. So I guess
Mhm.
we're supposed to give people time to process, but I come out swinging. So yeah,
It
stupid
took a
person
lot.
win.
It took a lot.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I also love that we were talking about this on Daughters of the Galaxy last week. I also love that Tristan Wren shows up in Daughters of the Galaxy. Sorry, Forces of Destiny with
yeah.
Sabine, and they go on an adventure, and she's painted his armor as well. So that's really cool.
Yeah, they feel like real siblings.
Yeah.
And actually think the whole character dynamic of all her family really works. Like the dad's interesting in his way, the mom's interesting in her way. And you're not supposed to like the mom, right? And then you sort of come around. And
Once
then
she shoots Gar Saxon, it's fine.
yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
which also is a nice way out for like Sabine not having to kill someone, because as much as I would enjoy that, like she is still a kid, right? Like she's like
Yeah.
17 or something. So you don't want to put that burden. And we know what we're doing. Like cooler heads prevailed in that writing room, because if I were there, one, I would have shot the mom to start with, and then where do we go? But
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't have a lot of chill for this kind of stuff.
Nope.
That's why I'm not
Uh-uh.
allowed in the writing room. Um, but yeah, so that's a whole arc right there. Like there's a whole Mandalore component. Like there's the brewing of the rebellion with like Saw Gerrera and Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma gives her incredible speech about defecting. So you've got the undercurrent of the rebellion building, like the proper rebel alliance forming, happens in season 3 of Rebels. The death of Darth Maul at the hand of Obi-Wan Kenobi happens in season 3 of Rebels. The arrival of Thrawn happens in season 3 of Rebels. The Mandalore situation, the dark saber reappears in season 3 of Mandalore, right? And the battle on Adelon and the introduction of the Bendu and everything related to that all happens in season 3 of Rebels. Like this is the
Yeah.
wildest season. Like it could have been 2 or 3 different seasons with just one of those main arcs driving everything, which is kind of crazy.
And also something else that they're dealing with is the so-called death of Ahsoka. Like they
Hmm.
think Ahsoka's gone.
Yeah,
They didn't see what happened to her after her battle with
we all did. As a viewer,
Vader.
I thought she was dead. I was like, "Oh, that's it."
Yeah.
Yeah, because her walking away at the end, I was like, "Well, that's a metaphor." Like, I didn't think it was like literally her walking away, because like it seemed like she was going to get sliced in half by Darth Vader.
Oh
Um,
yeah. He was
so
mad.
yeah, and then we don't find out until season 4. There's a lot of that where it's like, um,
They
we
leave you
don't get
hanging.
payoff on stuff for a while,
Yeah.
which is fine. I don't mind a mystery. But yeah, I think season 3 is some stellar storytelling, like across the board, and there's some incredible standout episodes. Like 0 Hour is fantastic. Twin Sons, of course, is off the charts. Through Imperial Eyes might be one of my all-time favorites in the entirety of Rebels, where we basically watch everything from Callus's perspective,
Oh
now
yeah.
knowing that he's defected. And Secret Cargo is just a personal favorite of mine. Like it is all
Yep.
Mon Mothma all the time. We get the speech, we get it all. Like
Yeah.
these are some heavy hitter episodes, and Trials of the Dark Saber and Legacy of Mandalore are amazing. The Ghost of Geonosis, going back to Geonosis, Like, I didn't see that coming with the Death Star. The connectivity to Rogue One that they built into this season
Mhm.
very intentionally, which
So
animation
intentional.
goes so far in advance. Like, they must have planned this the minute they casted the movie. They were like, we need to build into Rebels at the same time and make it feel like almost like the MCU, where things were like super connected all at once. It's kind of crazy that they
Yeah.
achieved that. Like, how'd they do this? Like, it seems so wild.
Everything's all interconnected, and I loved the connection between Kanan and Rex in this season, because I feel like, okay, not only are they learning how to like reconnect as Jedi and clones, but they're building a bond, and
Mhm.
they're both like kind of wary of each other, and they figure it out, and they just work together as a team, and it's adorable. I love it.
Yeah, they got over all their issues that they had in season 2, where the main conflict was like the Jedi clone thing. And of course, Kanan not wanting to be part of this larger like rebellion or
Yeah.
in another war. I think then him being blinded at the end of season 2, he does get that like clarity of vision where he's like, there's a path here and we're going to see it through. And he really helps as he almost becomes like a bit of a supporting character in season 3 where
Yeah,
everyone's sort of
lots of
standing on his
meditation,
shoulders.
more
Yeah,
spiritual than he's ever been. So
and everyone goes to him for like it's almost like he takes on the Obi-Wan Kenobi style role where he's not leading the action like the way he was in season 1, but like people are going to him and like getting what they need, like Sabine training with him for the dark saber. Ezra going to him for all of his Padawan training.
yeah.
Hera's out on her own missions, flying ships, but everyone's like checking in with Kanan, and he's the one like grounding them and centering them. And you're right, he's the one meditating as like the spiders are crawling all around. Like it's kind of
Ugh,
crazy.
ugh, no. Mm-mm. It still gives me the creeps. And then they brought them back for the Mandalorian, and I was just like, "Oh my god, why? Why
That
are
was
you doing this?"
horrifying. Here's the thing,
Oh,
anything that's small in real life, once you make it too big, there's like I remember reading something about like proportions on things. Like even sometimes like a fly when it's too big, like seems really creepy to people, like a house fly that grows just like a little too long, like because it's not supposed to be that big. So imagine like if a regular spider is supposed to be like this big or this big, like one that's this that you can't even see it in the frame over
oh
here is like we're talking
no.
about bigger than a person. There's no way. I'm out.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
Sign me out. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
every now and then you'll see a TikTok from Australia, and it's like, "Oh, here's this indigenous spider just crawling around, and it's like the size of a person." And I was
Oh
like, "I'm
my
good. I'm good. I'm
god.
never visiting."
Nope. Never,
Yep,
ever. And I have family there, so I'm
yeah.
just like, mm-mm. No, sorry guys.
I'll meet you in the city where they have exterminators.
In a public place,
Exactly.
and
Um,
it's during the winter, so there's no mosquitoes.
so
Sign me up.
while we're looking at all of these episodes and all these moments in the chat, we'd love to know: does anyone have a particular
Yeah.
favorite episode? And it doesn't have to be the one you think is the best. Like I tell people all the time, my favorite is Secret Cargo. Like I literally rewatch it over and over again, just for the Mon Mothma content and the fact that she like gives that really powerful speech. Like it is a moment in Star Wars history, which is how I always joke that like the Rebels crew like Forrest Gump their way through Star Wars history. A lot of it happens in this season. The Mon Mothma stuff, Darth Maul dying, the
They're
arrival of
they're like,
Thrawn.
"Well, wait a
Like,
minute, all this cool stuff is happening around the same timeline. Let's weave it in, it's
yep,
gonna work," and it does, and
yeah.
it's almost flawless.
Yeah, I gotta
Almost
say,
flawless.
like, it doesn't feel forced. Even Twin Sons, which, like, let's be honest, like, doesn't really belong in this show, works because they built the Ezra Maul dynamic starting in
Mhm.
Twilight of the Apprentice. And like, I actually feel that there is a real connection between Maul and Ezra. And yes, Maul is always using you. And Ezra is always a little bit naive, but also like always playing the other side. He's a little bit of Hondo like that, which by the way, Hondo's in this season too. So if you need some Hondo content, he's really fun in season
Oh
3. Like,
goodness,
Hondo's
he's
at his
great.
silliest this season, whereas everything else is serious as a heart attack. Hondo's having the time of his life. Like because he's from the Clone Wars, so nothing's as serious as the Clone Wars. Like this is daycare to him, right? Like he's
Yeah.
here on vacation, just hanging out in like season 3 of Rebels, when everyone else thinks it's the bleakest timeline. He's like, "Girl, I lived through the Clone Wars. Like nothing was worse. Like this is a treat.
Yeah.
Just hanging out on the Ghost." So Hondo's at his silliest in season 3, which I appreciate because I like that character tremendously, and I'm glad they sort
Especially
of,
after you
you
see
know,
him in Clone Wars, because in Clone Wars, he's as serious as a heart attack, and he's
yeah,
dangerous.
and he's scary, and
Yeah.
he gets the best of, like, Anakin and Obi-Wan, a few times over and almost kills
And his
Ahsoka.
people are
Yeah.
kinda scary too. It's like
Yeah.
he's a real threat, and they kind of somehow whittle it into something fun and
Yeah.
hilarious. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, Sherry. Yeah.
Yeah, Sherry, he was completely like you could have told me it was a different character. Like I realize that, time moves and people change and all of that, and this is a different kind of show than Clone Wars. Like Clone Wars is very serious.
Yeah.
Rebels is a lot less serious and has serious moments, and got more serious as the series progressed. But like Clone Wars sort of started out very serious, I think, and even with its silliness, always felt like you're in the war. And we're still
Right.
talking about like the Jedi and
The stakes were definitely higher, whereas with Rebels, I just feel like it's a little more goofy
yeah.
and
I
a
mean, there's
little
a whole
more
episode they have to
fun.
go chase down the fruit. Like, I use that as an example all the time. We gotta go
Yeah,
get the Melu
it's
run.
fun. It's like a
Yeah,
breath of fresh air that we needed because, like, as I said, the Clone Wars was so serious.
yeah,
And even though it had its moments of levity, it was kind of few and far between. I mean, my God, look how it ended. It's like probably the
yeah,
most soul crushing bit of Star Wars in a long time. So,
yeah. These same people worked on X-Men '97. Um, but the
well,
thing about
not okay.
the thing about season 3, yeah, so Sherry, you're right that, Clone Wars,
Yeah,
and Rebels
exactly.
Hondo incredibly different. And yeah, they evolved the character they gave him a bit of a face turn, right? They were like, okay, this guy was like pure villain, and now we're just making him a bit of um a less serious threat. Like his
Yeah.
his threats are more like I'm gonna steal some money, whereas in the Clone Wars he's like I'm gonna murder these villagers. Like I was like, oh, things have changed.
I'm gonna
um
grab them blind, and it's like,
yeah.
whoa, dude, relax.
One of the things I'm looking at on our list, because season 3 has 22 episodes. That's why this is so dense too, and every episode really counts. You're like, I don't like the filler word, and I don't think any episode is really ever filler. But even just looking at these 22 episodes, I don't think I could identify an episode that I would even say borders on filler because they're all driving home either the meta plot of trying to get to Adelon or trying to stay safe from the Empire or pushing one of the character narratives in a big way. Like, there's nothing in here that like even the Iron Squadron episode introduces a bunch of characters that we need later and sets up Keone Young, as Commander Sato, his big sacrifice coming. It's one of the lower rated episodes of the season. I think it's
Yeah.
actually the lowest rated one, but like it's still not a filler episode because it
Nope.
also shows Thrawn in action against General Sato, which pays off later. So there's all these things where it's like this show is well crafted, even with 22 episodes and this many balls in the air to juggle. It all really works. So I don't think
I think
anyone in
so
this
too.
chat um, needs to be reassured that season 3 of Rebels is good. But do go back and watch our watch alongs that we've done on these episodes. A lot of them, I think you'll be surprised just remembering how good a lot of these individual episodes are, including the ones where you thought like, yeah, then maybe that was just mid. I think a lot of them are better than you remember.
Absolutely. This is the beginning of the end for our team,
Yeah,
and
it
it's
definitely
evident
gets you ready for season 4.
where they fully crush your spirit.
Yeah. Oh, season 4 is
Oh,
a lot. All right, with that in mind, we're actually almost coming up on time. I know we have a couple of things that we need to plug for the week. First off, let's talk a little bit about the vacation coming up. The family
yeah.
vacation is 3 months away, basically, which is kind of crazy. And there's only 10 full trip tickets left at this point.
1-0, baby.
Yeah, it is. We're basically sold out at this point, but we have a few left. Really looking forward to seeing everyone there. I'm trying to figure out if I because I'm not going to San Diego Comic Con. I'm trying to figure out if I can get out there for a few days just to be a part of the festivities and see everyone because I really want to see everyone and hang out with the family.
So Danua
Um,
Novo's not going to San Diego this year?
no, we're giving up our space, unfortunately,
Oh,
to
wow.
one of our sister companies. So it just doesn't make sense for us to travel all the way out there. We have a very light year of development for 2024 because we're waiting
Ah,
for other stuff.
right.
And so, but by the way, our sale does start this Friday, so everyone be on the lookout. And by the way, every single Star Wars licensee, their sale is starting Friday or Saturday because everything has to end on May the 4th, and so you will get a week's worth of. You'll start getting check your inboxes and actually be on the lookout. I'm sure Her Universe, Hasbro, Lego, every t-shirt company, every official licensee will be doing a May the 4th sale. There actually should be a roundup on StarWars.com tomorrow, I think, and I know I'll be in that
Yeah.
article with Denuo Novo. We're doing 10% off and free shipping, free domestic shipping, like we usually do. And that's really our stuff. But every other licensee will have something happening for May the 4th, which is very exciting. And I think the Nerf herders this week are doing like a May the 4th roundup of some type. Jeff, is that correct? That's their
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
topic?
we got in the
Yeah.
schedule. That's what John said. JT was like, they're
Yeah.
doing, I think they're going to cover things in and around May the 4th events and merch and pretty much
Excellent.
everything.
So everyone tune in on Wednesday because that'll be really helpful because the sales will just be getting started right after. And I think that the StarWars.com article hits tomorrow. So I'll make sure I send them that link if they don't already know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so yeah, family vacation. All right, what's this about over here? The enter to win.
So,
So go ahead.
Go ahead. So, on that post in the Star Wars Celebration group, you just enter your name in the comment section, and they will draw a ticket for a full trip, not including airfare, accommodations, or any other souvenirs or whatever that may come with it. But your full bus ticket, Disneyland ticket, anything to get into anything on this trip is going to be covered. So if you
And
are
all the swag. They'll
all
get
the
a
swag,
t-shirt.
yep. So if you are serious about going and you want to take off some of the cost, enter to win this. You got really nothing to lose. So, and it'd be fun.
We had a family member that no longer can join us, so they decided to donate their ticket. So we have
Oh, that's
opportunity
rad.
to give this away, which is very cool.
Yeah.
And somebody hopefully will get an opportunity that they wouldn't have otherwise, or be able to save a few bucks.
Absolutely. So don't wait. Make sure the tickets are being drawn. The ticket will be drawn on Monday the 29th. So enter in fast.
Oh, so we have a week. So 1 week
Yep.
from today. All right, so we can announce the winner on our show. I guess it'll be announced
Oh.
in the comments too, but we'll also do it here.
Yeah,
That's great.
definitely. In case I missed it.
And what else? So this week we do have new episodes of the Nerf Herder Council. As we mentioned, they'll be doing the May the 4th wrap up on Wednesday. We also have the VCN watch along for the next episode of the Bad Batch. Oh, there's only 2 left. Ah, so that'll be
Episode
Thursday.
14. Yeah.
Yeah, episode 14, which is wild.
The beginning of the end.
Yeah, it is. Look, we're all eyes are pointed toward Tantus, right? We're on our way. That ship is on the way, and the Bad Batch ship is attached to it. I think there's gonna be a showdown on Tantus, which is very exciting because, like, especially for any of the EU fans out there, like Tantus is a significant location. So I'm curious to
Yeah.
see how they tie this up.
Oh my goodness.
So the penultimate episode will be airing on Wednesday, of course, along with the start of the finale of X-Men 97. So tune in on Thursday night for the boys to cover episode 14 of Bad Batch, and then Friday we'll have the Bad Batch after show with Mike and John and Bryce. And of course they do an excellent analysis, and I know they're going to cover all of they do like a plot crunch and some analysis and Easter eggs, and yeah, it's a lot, which is great because if you want really in-depth coverage of the episode, this is where to get it, is on the after show.
Yeah, and not to mention, we also have a new guest for our Boonta Eve special edition creators of the Star Wars universe located in San Francisco at Ireland C2. We got from Tested and working with Adam Savage, Tippett Studios, we have Kate Sabaker joining the Boonta Eve special edition. She is a phenomenal prop maker. She helped work on the Jark set in Solo and in the sequel trilogy. She made the Tumbler from Batman. The Dark Knight Rises. She's phenomenal. Definitely going to want to meet with her. It's her first public signing. Really excited for you guys to get to go see her.
She's got an amazing
repertoire.
Her resume of work is big movies and big properties and incredible stuff.
So yeah, go say hi to Kate. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm always excited when there's a first time signer too. And the behind the scenes people, I'm glad that we're getting more and more focus on them, because there was
Yeah.
a long time where I know we couldn't put them in Topps trading cards for years and years, and now it looks like they're able to be moved into official merchandise, and they're able to do the con circuit, and the puppeteers, the stunt people, the prop makers
Yeah.
who are often overlooked, and sometimes, especially on the old movies, you didn't know who did what and who made what, and all that. Now everyone's got official credits thanks to the unions. We know who did everything specifically. There are
Yeah.
sheets with evidence. So this is really good stuff. So very excited. And by the way, the guest list is really coming into focus on all three of the
Yeah.
events happening at the family
Huge.
vacation. We've got 2 in Southern California and 1 in Northern California. We've been announcing guests pretty significantly. We've got the heroes of the Filoniverse for the first Boon to Eve, including my favorite person on earth, Nelson Lee. I just love Senator Giono. He's the worst. Nelson Lee is great. The character is the worst. Pam Riddle, Warren Pruill. Who else we got? Lauren Mary Kim
Lauren.
and Michelle Lee, who are fantastic. Barry Lowen. That's right. We announced Barry Lowen, I think, last week, and Marty Matulis.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I think Marty's going to be in something coming up. I have a feeling.
Ooh.
But Barry is also spectacular, and of course Leilani.
Leilani and
I know,
Ariel.
and her daughter Ariel. Yeah, the Jawas are in the house.
Woohoo!
Okay, so Galaxy's Most Wanted. How many names have we announced so far on this? It's not as many.
Not as many,
3.
but
Just 3
there's
so
3.
far. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Put him up on the screen. All right. Mark Anthony Austin. He plays Boba Fett in the New Hope Special Edition version.
Yes.
And of course, he's done a lot of, he actually does special effects stuff as well. John Morton, who of course is Dak, and he's our Bespin Boba. That's how he always signs his stuff. So 2 Boba
Mhm.
Fetts on the list.
Yeah.
And then
So far.
Aiden Barton. This
It's
is
a baby
very cool.
Skywalker.
That's
It's his
awesome.
first public signing as well. So the baby you see handed off to Obi-Wan and handed off to Baru, and handed off to Brea and Bail Organa is Aiden. So
That's awesome. Yeah.
how's that for your first role? You get to be a Skywalker.
You got to work against all those actors, so that's very cool.
Yeah. Iconic.
That's really neat. And so do you remember when the little kid who's killed by Anakin Skywalker, like the Jedi
Ross.
youngling?
Yeah.
Just Ross someone, right?
Ross Boardman.
Yeah, he is now an adult, obviously, because the movie is 20 years
Mhm.
old at this point. He's doing conventions and doing signings and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And I saw a picture of him, Russ
Speedman.
Speedman. Thank you,
Sorry.
thank you,
Thank you,
Spencer.
Spencer.
My brain is pudding. And so he's like an adult now, obviously, but you forget sometimes. And I'm like, oh yeah, that little kid is like a real life human now. And by the way, is as tall as Anakin Skywalker. Basically, I was like, this is
Yeah.
crazy. So I want to see that lightsaber fight now. Like that's the real situation.
Bring it, Hayden.
Yeah.
It's not just the
But
kid anymore.
Kate rounds out a great list of creatives that were announced already for San Francisco, including
Hal Hickel, Oscar winner, Hal Hickel.
It's amazing.
Lauren Vogt.
She's got some great stuff she's worked on, including the chest burster from Spaceballs, which is
Oh,
one of the best
hilarious.
gags ever.
And she does props and makeup, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Bill, who was a editor, effects editor, and did some building of some stuff, and has a great book as well. And then Kate.
Yeah.
So those are all the announcements so far, but that's not even all
Yeah.
of them. There's
More coming.
a fraction.
Didn't Chris Bartlett and Misty Roses already announce themselves in that video?
There was
like
a
2 months
little
ago?
a little bit of a leak there with Misty, Chris, Dawn,
That's right, Dawn Dillon
and Ariel.
Yeah,
prior
right.
to us
We
doing
got all
our
right. We should just
official
put their
announcements.
cards into the mix because, like,
Yeah,
that was
they'll be there soon.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, it's a great group, and look. Chris is a VCN Hall of Famer. So is Leilani, and they're bringing all their friends. It's going to be such a blast. And it's the summer in California while Mando is filming.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah.
That's
So come on. 10 tickets are
I
left.
know the
Let's
FOMO is
go.
hitting me.
The words
yeah.
of Deadpool. Let's effing go.
Yeah, LFG we were just chanting it around the office, LFG today. which was very exciting because
So
at one
good.
point someone was like, "What's happening?" And I was like, "Did you not see the trailer?" And they're like, "What trailer?" And I was like, "Open up YouTube," as if we're not so busy right now. We're all
I
drowning
love
on
that
stuff.
you're the
But like,
boss and you're making people watch trailers. My boss
yeah,
is like, "Yeah, you watch that on your break. It's fine."
yeah. Oh no, this is like literally part of our job, right?
I
So
love it. I
it's
need
the
to go
kind of
work for
thing
you.
where I need to know what's happening here. Um, yeah.
Well,
I
speaking
by
of
the way,
summer in California, though, there's
mhm.
also this item, which is definitely not a
Yeah.
summer in California
I was
item.
gonna
No,
say like
this is a Rhode Island Comic Con exclusive.
I
No.
thought I also thought there was another baseball jersey coming our way too, but I'm very excited about this one. This is a very
Well,
cool hockey jersey. I
Yeah.
don't know if I need a second hockey jersey is my only thing,
No,
but I
you're
also
dark
need
side.
all the things. I know because I already have a red one, but I think
Yeah.
I do need a baseball jersey.
the
Either way,
the
get yours. This is a nice design, especially if you're a light side person.
there
Yeah.
is a vacation specific racer that is coming, although the design is going to be altered slightly based on some copyright questions.
Hmm.
Hopefully, it comes out very nice and it's still a great. I'm sure it's going to be a great piece regardless.
Yeah.
They're always. I mean, the cut's great, and usually the graphics are amazing.
They always look, yeah, fantastic. So we're not worried about that. But if there's not a Ski Pruckle jersey made, I'm going to be very upset. Just saying.
Ski Pruckle.
Ski Pruckle.
So stupid. It's the best. And by the way, thank you again, Skip, for covering for me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I will be here next week, and in fact, next week we should talk about. Oh, we didn't finish what else is happening this week? We've got Nerf Herders, Thursday night watch along, Bad Batch after show, and then it's episode 66 of the Unifying Force. And my understanding is they're going to do something about Order 66. That
Oh
just makes sense.
my.
So
Yeah.
not sure 100% what that means, but Dave, and you can pester Dave and Geo and Kat in the chats and be like, "What are you going to talk about?" I'm sure they're figuring it out right now.
Yeah.
Um, and then next week we have our May the 4th spectacular. So next week is going to be a ton of fun because obviously May the 4th is not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. So we have all this lead up to May the 4th, the finale of Bad Batch May 1st, Wednesday, May 1st.
Okay, you
It's going to
guys.
be a lot, and of course, Tales of the Jedi, or sorry, Tales of the
Tales of the
Empire
Empire.
start up that following that on May the 4th. And so we'll have coverage starting the following week on this channel. So be on the lookout for Tales of the Empire watch alongs on Thursday nights, 2 weeks in a row. We're going to do um, the Barasafi episodes and then the Morgan Elsbeth episodes. And then they'll do the same thing on the after show.
Now, I've
Um,
been waiting for you to come back. When you heard it was going to be Barris in this,
Yeah,
what
that's
did
what
you think?
hospitalized me actually. So it was that. So no, in all seriousness, I nearly hit the floor when I saw that it was Barasafi because like I've
And it wasn't the
wanted this for
Beaver.
so long, and I
Yeah.
keep saying she's going to be in the final season of Rebels. She's going to show up in the final season of Clone Wars. She's going to show
She's
up in
going to be in
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
And at some point, it's like, where is she? Where the hell is she?
Hashtag where's Barris?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, Dave Filoni, what are you doing to me right now? And then they announced this, and I was like, this is almost better that it's like a dedicated thing of just her because I want to see her fight Luminara and win, and capture her and drag her and the Grand Inquisitor, drag her away to her prison where she's going to be killed. I love that. I love everything about that. Like, I want to see. I know it's terrible, but I also love everything about the storytelling about it, and I
Yeah.
want to see her then regret everything she's done. Like, that's going to be the best part when she achieves all of this and when she actually figures out that Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader, because Darth Vader knows who Barriss Offee is because he's Anakin Skywalker, and he's not going to be happy seeing Barriss Offee there, the woman who
Nope.
framed Ahsoka Tano. So when she figures it out, when she lightsaber fights him and recognizes that it's Anakin, he's going to try to kill her, and she's going to have to run, and she's going to regret everything she did up to that point.
God, I
Regret
hope
will
you're
lead
right.
to regret to lead to redemption.
Oh,
That's my
yeah.
plan.
I so hope you're right. I
That's my hope.
honestly, I can't wait. And Morgan Elsbeth, like making it centered on her,
Yeah,
getting Diana back in a voice role,
I know,
so
that's
good.
amazing.
Yeah.
And look, Meredith Salinger is back doing Barris. I'm
Mhm.
beyond thrilled.
Daddy
And yeah,
can.
I'm very excited about Morgan too because I know very little. We know very little about her except that
Mhm.
she kicked all the ass in Ahsoka, and
Oh
also
yeah.
she got used a little bit. But I also think like she did what she felt was right for her people, like the Night
Yeah.
Sisters, and hopefully there'll be some good redemption in the
Mhm.
end for them. I love the Night Sisters. I don't care that they're evil. I love them. So I'm all in. I
Yeah.
love that it's these two bad bitches too. I was like, yes, we got two women, two villains. They're ready to burn down everything, and I agree. So I'm like so ready for all of that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we're going to find out if Lauren Mary Kim actually did some motion capture for Tales
That'd
of
be
the
awesome.
Empire.
I sure hope
Add
so.
another
I don't,
piece
Yeah.
to her repertoire.
you gotta
Yeah.
wonder if they have the budget for that on this type of show versus like Clone Wars season
Mm.
7, where because I my original assumption is they built that 4-part finale as a movie to be put in theaters. Like it was so expensive looking, and I know they spent a fortune on it, and I think that's
Yeah.
why they brought in Ray and her was to be able to say that like we did this. Um, but yeah, either way, I can't wait for Tales of the Empire. I'm
So
so
good,
so so
right?
excited. It's gonna be a crazy week, you guys. Next week, May the 4th starts like tomorrow. Like the build up starts on Friday, literally from all the licensees. Be on the lookout for all the emails in your inbox. Like don't ignore your junk mail just because you haven't opened an email from Her Universe in the past 3 months and it accidentally is now part of your like unfiltered junk or whatever. Go back in there and click something like
Get
or
it out.
whoever else, or Hasbro or Lego or whoever. I keep using Her Universe because they always come to the top of the list and they're very Star Wars specific. Like, make
They have a
sure
lot
you're
of
on the
sales.
lookout.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there's a
also
ton of great.
make sure you guys check out our T Public store. There's sales all the time.
Yep.
We have fantastic designs. Um, our new let's see. Oh, yep, right there. tpublic.com/user/virtual-cantina. We got Hu Yang is for the younglings. We got the Pride collection. We got the Daughters of the Galaxy collection, the Rebels collection, Patriotic, um, VCN, Big Gay Explosions. It's Nobody's Ever Really Gone collection. Like, check this out. It's so cool. And the Freaky Four shit, y'all, of
Yeah,
course.
that's one of my favorites.
It's so fun. But yeah, make sure, like I said, T Public has sales all the time. T-shirts as low as $16. Don't miss it. I know they've got one going on right now, so get on there.
Yeah.
Support the channel.
And be on the lookout for all things May the 4th next week. Also, we are pretty far over, but thank you everyone for joining
Yeah.
us and for welcoming me back on my return after my unfortunate hospitalization. But I am fine. I'm doing much
So
better.
glad you're back, buddy.
Yeah, I feel like today's the first day where I really felt like just about at 100%.
Good.
Like every day before this, I felt like I needed a nap every day. And today, I think because I didn't, my antibiotics are done, I feel significantly different,
Oh yeah.
which is great. So thank you everyone for all the well wishes. By the way, I
Sure.
read all the Facebook posts and messages and everything. That was very sweet. Thank you everyone for checking in on me. Thank you for Ashley and Jeff and Skip for keeping the show running while I was
Of
out.
course.
Join us next week where we're going to talk all things May the 4th. And there'll be a ton of stuff to discuss. I'm going to watch the Nerf Herders on Wednesday do that, and then I'll report back. So
Nice.
all right.
And just so you guys know, this hoodie is part of my life now. So this is who I am.
You
This
can
is
wear
my
it every
head.
week. It'll be
Yep.
great.
Okay. Sweet.
All right. All right, guys. May the force be with you. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.